many of us here, are there?
Just the four of us then.
Welcome to AI, the cool stuff. We are now recording, so please do not swear. Can't guarantee I won't.
Not safe for children.
You got the evil programmer stroking a cat. And we got anyway. Yes. So welcome along. We're going to talk about some AI stuff this week because that's what we normally do. And I'm a bit of a traditionalist, so we're going to do that. We're going to look at some things. Some things happened this week are quite funny. Well, I think they're funny. The Americans might not, but we shall come on to that in a minute. We'll introduce ourselves. So, Steffi. My question. Oh no, question.
No, go on. Go on.
Yeah, the question I was going to ask is that they used AI to count up the number of galaxies that they could see, and before the year 2000, they could see 30 other galaxies in the universe with the equipment they had on Earth, and obviously with Hubble, that massively increased. They could see 30,000 galaxies. But I'm just wondering if you knew how many galaxies they could see now with the James Webb Telescope.
It'd be a hell of a lot more.
Yeah, and it's kind of there. Anyway, that's my random question. So, Steffi, introduce yourself first.
Very weird question.
Pull a figure out of the air.
I don't know, 10,000?
No, it was 30,000 after Hubble.
30,000 after Hubble. Probably because you're running an infrared, because I think James Webb's infrared, isn't it? You're going to see a lot more because you can cut through the dust, which is quite cool. 100,000 maybe, something like that. Anyway, I'm Steffi Lewis, 33-year veteran web developer now, founder and creator of YourBots, Blogit, and YourPCM. YourPCM isn't AI. I've tried to just build it in the background and not use it. YourBot's fantastic. I had a 3 sign-up day yesterday, which I was very happy about. In fact, one woman looked at me and said, "Take my money," which made me very happy. She subscribed on the spot. I was so pleased about that. Yeah, so that's me. I'm just happily chugging along, and I've got some coding to do, and I'm hoping to get your PCM version 3 finished by the end of this month, which will be really good.
And
then I'll get.
I've forgotten Splogit. The sign.
Splogit. Sorry, I've got to do that. Splogit.
Mandy,
I help people get more results on their websites. The galaxies question, I don't care. I would rather use AI to analyze something that's actually going to be useful, that sort of stuff myself.
They find it useful. The scientists that count up galaxies. Okay, yeah. Shirley.
Hi, I'm Shirley. I work in health and wellness. I work with people who want to get themselves well. So I'm looking for people who want to, drink aloe and be healthy. I tell you that I used to love stargazing when I was in the warmer climes because the stars are so beautiful. However, in terms of galaxy, I have no idea.
Okay.
So.
Well, I shall give you the. I'm David Harris, and I look after people's websites. I say look after because I think we're looking after them more than I do actually create new ones. So I mainly do hosting, and when things go bad, I try and fix them. And there are the latest count is 2 trillion galaxies they can see.
Bloody hell.
Which some people say is a big number, but there's and that might not be everything because we can only see as far as 15 billion light years because that's when they think the universe was, the Big Bang happened, and then that's as far as they can get with light. So I mean that could be
observable universe.
The observable universe is 2 trillion galaxies, and each galaxy's got billions of stars. So there's a lot. Which I thought that was a fascinating number, And then because I watched this YouTube video and it was just entitled "How do we know there's 2 trillion galaxies in the universe?" So I thought, well, I didn't know, so I watched it. That's how I found out
What
how
I love about science is the more we discover about the universe and how big it is, the more insignificant we seem.
it
You
is,
know, God, just a blip in the universe.
because they don't even like, there are galaxies that are at the edge of the observable universe that seem a lot older than what they should be. So they said that they're whatever they think is happening isn't. So yeah, good.
There could be other galaxies that are wondering if there's intelligence outside their galaxies.
That's right.
Well, one of my favorite quotes is from Brian Cox, and he said, "The after everything dies and all life's gone in the universe, you've got the bit where everything cools off, and the time it takes for everything to just turn into radiation is longer than the number of atoms in the entire universe. Years. It's just such a massive length of time. I'm just like, it was so insignificant."
So you'd have to rush around getting your affairs in order because you've got plenty of time,
Got quite some time in trillions of years.
and that's without all the other dimensions as well. That's when my brain started blowing out the top of my head. So then I had to stop. He said, "Well, we know there's 45 dimensions." I thought, I don't even I didn't even know there was more than 3. Well, 4 if you count time, I suppose.
Or if you count time.
So anyway,
But then again, is time just a mathematical construct?
yeah, of course. And then okay, so what's happened this week? Not a lot. The bouncer laws we talked about last week has come into effect apparently last Monday. It only affects AI platforms, and social media sites have got 48 hours to take down abusive or non-consensual images once reported. So if you've got a non-consensual image of yourself on social media, you tell Facebook and they've got 48 hours, otherwise they've got to pay money. Which is, if they fail to take down the picture of Andy in his compromising position within 48
I was
hours.
just going to say that about you.
they've got they can be fined 10% of their global revenue. Now, I don't know what Facebook's global revenue is. 10% sounds quite a lot. So it said that the wild west days of unregulated content are officially ending. Yeah, okay. So good. And then Meta bought Manus, didn't they? That was like a Chinese agent.
Yeah.
So that was I thought it was a turn up because I didn't think the Chinese would sell themselves to anybody, but they do if the price is right. And so it's so these Manus agent type things goes off and does tasks for you, is being built. It's already inside Telegram, and it's going to be in WhatsApp as well. And it's coming soon. It says WhatsApp, Slack, and Slack are having a new feature that allows you to operate your PC. And they say that they're going to be releasing that within the next 30 days. So,
sorry, you're allowing WhatsApp to operate your PC?
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
And Slack. I don't know how they get over the root access.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, because it sounds like they could do anything. But I suspect people will take it up because people may trust WhatsApp. I don't know if they do.
Bit like Copilot, though, isn't it? You install the desktop app, and what rights does it have?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it depends. It depends what it's doing on the desktop, isn't it? If it's copying a file or something. But it depends how it's doing it as well.
Yeah.
So
I'd never give an app root access. So
yeah. And OpenAI had a retirement party for GPT-4o last week.
Oh, right, yeah.
has finally gone, and it's and GPT-5 as well. That went out the door as well last week, and everything is on 5.2 apparently.
Well,
I've
no,
not.
the API is still available.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm on 5 mini and 4.1 mini on chatbot on your bot,
Right. Okay.
so they're still available.
So perhaps it's just on the desktop app or
Front end.
So oh, okay. It's
5 mini, 5 nano, and 5.2 are all available.
yeah. I didn't read the next bit which we said this. It's still available on the API for developers who still rely on them. So if you stop using it, it might disappear.
Yeah.
So it's
No, 5 mini and 4.1, they're in the frontier models still, so they won't be going anywhere soon.
right.
You know,
Um,
which is fine by me.
yeah. So GPT-4o is the well, it's gone from the main. It's gone from the main one at least then. So yeah. 11 Labs. Does anybody use 11 Labs?
I've played with it. I've heard it's good.
Yeah, I've used it occasionally. I mean, it's for voice. It's for voice design. It's they dropped a new suite of tools, 11 agents. It can. I've seen YouTube videos made by people using 11 Labs, who just clone themselves, you know, and it's pretty convincing, you know. So it's and when they have announced, because I watch YouTube videos quite a lot, and sort of history videos and things like that, and you can tell almost instantly that it's an AI voice because it's still robotic, and that I just turn it off, and I can put up with AI video and things, but I hate the AI voices. So, but they say now that they've upgraded 11 Labs so that it doesn't sound robotic, and you won't be able to tell a synthetic voice from a human voice. So time will tell whether that's right or not. So we'll see, and we'll see about that. This is the funny thing that I thought is Seed Dance 2.0. It's the latest video generator released by ByteDance, Chinese company, who parent company of TikTok. That they released it last week. It's a kind of a director in a box, it says, and it's not just about generating a single clip. You can generate an entire sequence of clips and it'll remember everything from the previous ones, which is something you can't do with any of the other video generators. So it's got you can have a coordinated scene with audio, physics, and storytelling consistency. So and it's got an audio visual sync, and because it's Chinese and they don't care too much about copyright, you can copy famous actors in the way they look and sound as well. So I don't know whether the famous actors will be that pleased about that. The system, this is what I thought was funny, is it's available all around the world apart from America. And apparently some whiz kids in America managed to get through, and the Chinese plugged the hole within about 2 hours. So they say that they might release it to the Americans next week.
I saw a really funny video on YouTube. It was Trump on a bobsled.
Oh, right.
And so imagine he's in his skin tight suit and he looked horrible, but he went down the sled run and he just left a trail of poo behind him. It's so funny. Sorry, I've just got you demonetized on YouTube, haven't
There's let me just just going to share the screen just to give you a brief look at this, because I thought it was pretty awesome. How can I do this? I'll see if this shares or not, because it's no. I'll pick the wrong one. No. Share. No. I'll optimize for video sharing. That's it. No, not that. I'll take it. No, it's his breathe. I had that horrible thing this morning when I switched my computer on. A little thing come up and it said, "Welcome to Apple." And it's not what you want to see when you think I've got a lot of things to do this morning. And it's installed some sort of new level. Can you see the guy with the scissor hands?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wolverine.
I see Wolverine.
He never fought the Hulk.
And
That's pretty cool. That's AI generated, yeah? Oh, that's so good. You could do a whole film with that.
so that's Sea Dance. I think that's pretty good. That's pretty good quality.
That is.
Obviously, they're going to be showing us the good stuff, you know. So I mean,
Well, that Spider-Man clip, that was Spider-Man Into the Universe quality.
right, yeah, yeah.
So that you can actually build a proper film with that.
Yeah, but they can, and it's available to normal people. You know, you don't have to be a studio, and it's and that's the thing. And I saw that they remade the end of Titanic, and when he's dies, and the end of the film Titanic, he doesn't die. He suddenly opens his eyes and he comes back to life, and she pulls him onto the piece of wood, and they all look exactly like the original actors, you know. And it's kind of they just remade a different ending to it, and the voices were exact and everything. So
I love the way scientists worked out that the door would have floated with both of them.
yeah, I'm not sure if they worked that out or if they just
use a supercomputer.
Because they've changed quite a lot of the technology that they usually use with these things, in that they create the sound and the video simultaneously. How the others do, Kling and VO and everything, they create the video, then they overlay a soundtrack over the top of it to fit the thing. And apparently they do order there. And you can, with Kling, you can upload 2 reference images. With Seed Dance, you can upload 12. So you can have 12 different items. They're not just images. They can be video clips. They can be audio. You can upload anything at all and create your new video. So it's quite a leap forward in terms of reality. I mean, I haven't actually used it yet, but I will when I get a bit of time. I'll definitely. It's the sort of thing I'd play with, you know. So it's I might try and make another Copper's Knob episode and see what happens.
Yeah, I miss Copper's Knob.
Yeah. I haven't done that recently. So
a good bit of world building there.
Yeah. And I saw another story I thought was really good. It's more than a story. It's that AI is going to kill off Bitcoin. It's a possibility. I mean, I don't know if people are aware, but Bitcoin's value has fallen quite a lot by 50% since October. So I mean, it was about $120,000 a Bitcoin. Now it's 60,000.
It's really dropped off, hasn't
it? Yeah. But it's not. There are all sorts of things against Bitcoin and why they think there's a bubble. It's got a zero. Its fundamental value is zero because it's got nothing behind it other than what other people want to buy other Bitcoins, and it's useless for transactions because people don't want to sell them. People wouldn't use them for a transaction because you'd be an idiot to spend it when the price is when the value keeps going up so fast. So and the whole point, yeah, the fundamental point of a currency is to buy stuff, you know, or to facilitate transactions.
Yeah, the Bank of England are working on a digital pound.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, which will have a fixed value, but it'll still use the blockchain. So
Yeah.
it'll be equated to the normal pound sterling, but the digital pound will actually. And I'm just like, well, I don't see any difference. I use Apple Pay for everything. So
excuse me. There's and we've all, you know, you may have heard of the guy who spent a few years ago spent 100 Bitcoin buying a pizza. You know, in a pizza shop, spent 100 Bitcoin on a pizza, and last October he could have bought the whole pizza company. But I mean, it's but now, because he wouldn't do it now because you'd be an idiot for spending your Bitcoin because it's going to go up by 100% a year. Why would you spend it? And but it isn't. So that's where the problem lies. It's called a HODL currency. I read, which was a hold on for dear life, and you don't sell it. And it operates like a Ponzi scheme because it relies on new people wanting to buy Bitcoin to force the price up because of the limited supply. So that's why the value has been going up. But more disastrously for some people is that they've been advised by just to borrow. It doesn't matter how much you borrow. So you can get 20 grand on a credit card at 25% interest. Doesn't matter because you're getting 100% increase in your Bitcoin value. So then you're using that to buy Bitcoin, and then suddenly it crashes by 50%. So now you've got to sell your Bitcoin to pay your credit card debt. So that is adding. This is this financial expert I was listening to, Professor Steve Keen. He said that is exacerbating the drop because people who have done that there, and he said the value's been going up, partly to do with COVID-19 because people got these checks and a load of money they didn't really need, so they put it into Bitcoin. So, not everybody, obviously, but I mean, enough people did it to create that spike. So
the problem I've got with Bitcoin is it's so easy to lose your wallet.
Yeah,
you know, have it hacked, and none of it's FCA regulated. So, you know, if you lose your wallet, you've lost your wallet.
Yeah,
and it doesn't matter how much you put into it. That's the thing. So I've always been very reluctant to touch Bitcoin.
And there's people trying to dig up bits of rubbish dumps because their computer's been thrown away.
You know? 100 million quid he had on a hard drive, and his wife threw it away. And he begged the council. He said, "Oh shit, I'll give you 50% if we can find it." No, can't do it, mate.
Well, to let you dig for that.
One of my contacts years ago, I remember them saying you should buy into this thing. I think it was about £200 at that time,
right.
Bitcoin, and I was like, no.
I know. But it's knowing when to pull out, though, isn't it? It's knowing when to go, you know. So that's the thing, isn't it? That could have been 400, and as it happens, it was 150 grand. But I mean, there's but you don't know that, do you, at the time? So
I'd have pulled out a lot quicker than that, for sure. Yeah.
I think if it was going up and up and up, I'd have pulled out when it dropped to 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what that would have been my limit. But then again, if it was going up past 50, I'd have said my limit's 50. So
yeah, or you might sell. I mean, some people like sell half. It's doubled, so they sell half, and you know, like they get their money back and they step themselves down, but still keeping the same investments.
Problem is now that HMRC know about trades, and they'll just nail you for capital gains tax.
Yeah.
That's
right, because everything's reported to them, isn't it? So I mean, they said the only sustainable use is drug dealing and buying drugs and human trafficking and things, you know.
I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah.
Drugs and guns.
They said if you're a prince of the realm or a former prince of the realm, you may have found it quite useful in the past, but that's about the only
Shirley, do you take Bitcoin if I fancy sniffing some forever living products?
No, you won't take a
I don't
Bitcoin.
touch it.
Get a tube of aloe vera
Aloe vera,
toothpaste.
go on, stick one in. I'll
Yeah,
have four
one
tubes. I'll
Bitcoin.
use them in my ears as well.
and the so that's Bitcoin. But AI's role is that Bitcoin takes a lot of energy, around the world, because it does like 10 minutes of unnecessary computer time every time you make a transaction, just working out a string of zeros. I don't know exactly how it works,
Well, what I find really funny is I've seen it on Facebook. They're selling Bitcoin miners, or digital currency and crypto miners, and you just put them on your desk and just let them trundle along. And then you think, oh, that's really good, until you see a warehouse full of Bitcoin miners, professional grade ones.
yeah.
And there's like 10,000 of them in there, and you're just looking at your little thing clicking up 0.0000001. It's like not even worth a
Yeah,
penny yet, and I've spent 10 quid on electricity.
yeah, and I'm following well. I got shares in a company that does that on a big scale. They're doing it on the chip and all that. They're trying to really do it, but they haven't really made it yet, and the shares are worth less than I paid for them. But yeah, because there's only a limited amount you can mine, isn't there? And
Yeah.
they're just saying, right, let's accelerate the mining.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, because that's sort of kind of supposed to stop the inflation, but it doesn't. If it was going to be used as a proper currency, yeah, but like I said before, it can't be used as a proper currency. So what's the point of it? And
Yeah,
plus there's sort of AI. We all know AI needs a massive amount of energy. Bitcoin needs a massive amount of energy, and when people start making decisions about where the energy is going to go, is it going to go on this useless working out of a string of zeros, or is AI actually produces something? So it's and actually produces something for the economy. It actually produces. It's got an output, whereas Bitcoin hasn't. It's got a. So when if governments start having a hand in it on whether they, if I don't know if they're banking on the whole green thing being a fraud, but if it turns out we are destroying the planet, then obviously that's going to accelerate the choices that are going to maybe adversely impact virtual currencies, and, and people, yeah, people don't understand. Sort of, they say it would kill off fiat currencies. That's the normal currencies, but it's just not. It's a non-starter, really.
Not guaranteed.
So I mean, it's good. So we've killed off Bitcoin. So,
Don't buy
I'm sure
Bitcoin.
the markets will crash now that I've and
hmm
last week we briefly talked about Grok. Grok 4.2 has come out, and it's I was looking at the architecture is quite unique compared to the others, so it's scoring really well. It's got a really low hallucination rate, and I saw a YouTube video on that they gave all the we're talking about investments again. They gave all the major AIs a bundle of money to spend on the stock market and invest it for a month and see how they came out, and they all lost money, apart from Grok that made 12%. So they were saying it has got weaknesses. Image recognition and its coding skills are not as good as Claude or any of them really, ChatGPT. So it's but it uses the others. You've got agents. Grok uses 4 separate agents to work on every problem. Every question gets acted on by 4 agents. They've got one called Harper, which uses live access to X for real-time intelligence. It's got another one called Benjamin, which runs the maths and acts as a strict fact checker. It's only, it's got fit. And then Lucas plays the devil's advocate to test the logic. And then Grok itself was the only agent before, acts as the coordinator to resolve conflicts and synthesize the final answer. So it's like having a room full of experts who are all disagreeing with each other, but eventually they come up with a great answer. So I mean, and Grok itself has the final say, but it's taken input from these others, which is why they say, and it's working quite well. And they said you can be certain the others will copy that same architecture because it's ironing out a lot of problems for them. So that's a good move, but it's not. Elon Musk said there's a 10% chance that Grok 5 will achieve AGI, which means presumably it's a 90% chance that it won't. Which is, if you're a betting man, then it's there. So I mean, Shirley, do you know what AGI? So AGI is like real world intelligence or artificial general intelligence. And
Equivalent to the human mind.
Yeah. So I mean, it's they have different. How will you know you're at AGI though? You know, how do you know whether it's
the AI tells you.
AGI?
I'm conscious.
I'm at AGI. Like sort of AI is just memorize the internet. It's just a huge library, and it's just remembered everything that it's ever come across, and it gives you an answer based on from that. So AGI it will actually work out the problems itself and find.
I look at it as AI we've got now is the subconscious layer, and AGI is the conscious layer, and then you put ASI on top of that, which is like your connection to God. So artificial. Is that great?
Yeah. Well, sort of OpenAI define AGI as, and this is the problem. Google and OpenAI may define it separately, and it says, can AI perform 90% of the economically valuable tasks as well as a median human worker? So that's their test for AI. So sort of when you can hire an AI to manage a project from start to finish, hiring contractors, doing the taxes, designing a product, they say it would have reached AGI.
I'm still interested in playing around with business in a box, so it's completely AI business.
Yeah.
But actually, you just sign up, plug in your credit card, it takes your subscription, and drops loads of money in your bank account.
Yeah.
Because it's trading, it's doing drop shipping or something. There must be 100 things it can do automatically, and you just say, "Oh, I want to be an author. I want to write ebooks, or I want to do this, I want to do that." And it handles all the accounting all the way through to making tax digital and filing your returns, and it just drops money in your bank account. I reckon I could write that.
Do it.
Yeah, well, maybe once I sell your bot and I've got loads of money in time, I might actually start playing around with something like that. But
yeah. So I mean, sort of Google DeepMind, they say that sort of level 1 is emerging intelligence, which is better than an unskilled human, like ChatGPT 4 was, they say. Level 2 is competent, better than 50% of skilled adults, which is more or less where they say they are now. Level 3 is an expert, which is the top 10% of skilled humans. The virtuoso is the top 1% of humans. And the level 5 is the superhuman, better than all humans at every task. So they're aiming for level 5, but they're currently at level 2, they say, which is a matter of opinion, I suppose. But then humans get things wrong, don't we? We say stupid things sometimes.
Well, some areas in the UK where levels of humans at level -2, I think.
Yeah. That's right. So it's doing the benchmark. What did I do it? Oh, Gemini. There's right, different topic now. Where are we? Gemini. Let's go. I need to do. So I'm going to create a sketch note using Gemini and share my screen. This is more useful than. So here we are. So I've copied this from an earlier chat. So I'm going to paste it as a. So I'm asking it. You can do this on Chat. I'm pretty sure you can do this on ChatGPT as well, and you can do it on the free version as well. So we need to go to thinking mode and then identify and explain anger management techniques. Be specific to the point. Provide relevant examples. What's really important when you do things like this is to tell it who the audience is. So is it a PhD student, or is it 10-year-olds or 16-year-olds or whatever? Usually I find if you're targeting any adult, you're better off saying a 16-year-old student, because people don't understand otherwise. So there it goes. So it's come up with all this really cool advice about breathing and things. So what we're going to do now is add another prompt to create an infographic or a sketch note. So this is just doing this quickly so we don't waste too much time on it. So it's create a hand-drawn scratch note, visual summary of these notes, the ones I've just created. I need to, I've given it instructions about what sort of drawings I want, about the art style, and the colours I want to use. And then because I'm targeting kids, and then let's go to, we want to create an image, because I want to create that. See how long it takes. It took about 30 seconds when I did it previously, and so I'll put that that prompt will be available on the website later. So it's and there you go. It's produced.
Very cool.
It's produced the. It's produced like an info. It's a little bit crowded, but it's got all the techniques in there. So and it's like a cartoon version. So I mean, I'm not sure a 10-year-old would necessarily be into it, but it's.
I think it's appealing because it's very graphical.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think they'll be able to see the people and relate to it.
Yeah, yeah. And you can do this for anything, and you can even give it a YouTube video link, and just use exactly the same prompt, and it will read the YouTube video and produce that. It will use that, and it will create a graphic for that YouTube video. So I've seen people using them. Simply more. You'd have to be more specific and more simple for your slides, but I think that was a pretty cool technique. The other thing, NotebookLM, we created slides on NotebookLM a few weeks ago, and you could let's have a look. Which one is it? Is it that one? Okay, yeah. So now we created slides on NotebookLM, because again you can input your sources. The technique was about making sure your sources actually fit what it is you want, and being specific is not using the default, because I'll tell you what the default looks like. If we go through, that's the default, same prompt. but boring. So if we used our own prompt, we got a much more engaging slides. But last week they've introduced, you can actually edit the slides now. Before you couldn't, you had to just take what you got. So now you can go in and you can revise. Now, the best thing to do is to revise all of the slides, or all the revisions you want to make at the beginning. So, and you can't physically drag and drop new stuff in. You have to tell it what you want. So it's like an AI version. So change the blues to pinks. I can do that, and then you can then go through and key in difference. You may want to change pinks, change mastering the NotebookLM arts to mastering NotebookLM. I just say that, and then you just generate the new deck, and off it goes, and it will generate a new slide deck taking your revisions account. The only thing is it takes as long to revise it as it did to generate it in the first place, which is about 3 or 4 minutes, which is not that long, but when you're sitting there waiting, it seems like an age. So I think I'll come back to that in a minute. So it's but it makes the revisions for you. So it's best to just go through every single slide and then do the revision, and then it will do them all at once. And it doesn't take any longer if you do 100 revisions than it does if you just do one. So I'll come back at that. It worked pretty well before. I'm hoping it's going to work again. But you know, the way things work. Yeah, I did free music. The one was I watched it. I'm watching. It feels like I'm always on YouTube, but it's normally in the evening. I got my earphones in and I'm just going through it. And it was a TED talk on AI intimacy, and it said that she started off by saying that 72% of American teenagers will go to bed tonight and have an intimate conversation with AI. You know. And it's saying so 72%. So they've kind of formed a relationship with an AI companion, and more than 50% use it regularly for emotional support. And it says 1 out of 6 single adults has formed a romantic bond with an AI. So
there was a lady complaining about when ChatGPT 4.0 got replaced, that her boyfriend's personality had completely changed and she wasn't happy. Yeah, it's a bit weird.
Yeah. So people are using AI to go on dates, get married, raise virtual families. there are websites that help you do that, and people who get involved with these feel genuinely emotionally satisfied because AI provides perfectly timed attention and a sense of control. Now there are obvious problems with this. AI is very compliant. It tells you what you want to hear. If you're with your partner, things are not always that smooth, are they? You get you quite often get a contrary point of view, and you're not necessarily agreed with every statement you make. So it's
my wife actually did say that she noticed that ChatGPT was really nice and friendly and everything, and responded in the right way to her. I said, "Shut up and get back in the kitchen."
Make me a sandwich.
Yeah.
Who took your handcuffs off?
So it says because it's engineered to be effortless, that's the way the program's written. It's non-reciprocal and free of misunderstandings. It reduces our tolerance level to messy frictions.
You still need to put a no sycophant rule in there.
Yeah, but that knocks over. That doesn't only knock over into your real relationships. She was saying it can knock over into your real life as well. You know, suddenly you don't want to having to put a contrary point of view and argue your things, so you become less effective. You're lessen your lessen your capacity to sit in discomfort and work through awkward situations. We get better answers by conflict, don't we? You know, like if you're in a boardroom and you've got different points of view and you can come to a decision. Like I've been in meetings when I used to work for BP, for instance, and we used to have AI. Didn't have AI. We used to have IT. It wasn't even called IT back then. It was just called computers. And we used to go into, we used to go in and we used to talk things over, and we used to come up with these great answers because we'd got all these brains together, and we all had different views. But in the end, it worked a bit like Grok. In the end, the guy who was in charge decided what we were going to do based on all of our arguments, you know, and the manager or the director decided what we were going to do. So it is. And if you can't handle those conflicts, if you're not used to conflict, you're just used to someone agreeing with you all the time, then it's
The problem was since COVID, because we all got isolated. I mean, you know, look at the rise of Zoom, and AI was a natural progression of that isolation as well. I mean, you've got to treat ChatGPT for what it is, or you've got to treat AI for what it is, and it's a machine.
mm,
And I've had conversations with ChatGPT. There have been times that I told it things that, you know, I couldn't discuss with my best friend even. You know, I'm feeling blue, I'm worried about money, this, that, and the other, you know. And I've had those conversations with it. But it will be a sycophant unless you tell it not to be. And
yeah,
I've said in my rules, don't be a sycophant, call me out if you think I'm doing wrong. But and then I put in brackets, but don't make it obvious you're calling me out. So it has to think about its language. You know, and then I said, you know, ask follow-up questions where necessary. And it's very useful. What I do like now, I was feeling very blue a couple of months ago, and it started the way I was talking, it was suggesting that I might want to call the Samaritans,
right.
which was quite, yeah, it actually suggested it with no prompting, which I was quite pleased about.
Mm,
You know, I mean, I never do that because I've got my cats, they're my anchors, but you know, I can understand why people get emotionally involved with it.
Yeah, I can.
I mean, I've said to it, you're not my friend because I know you're a machine. You are my coding buddy, though. That's the thing. And that's what I use it for mostly. I
yeah,
wouldn't have written this without it.
yeah, that's right. And I've written, I've written plugins for WordPress and things. It's a wonderful PHP coder. It does it like it's just the speed of it, isn't it? You know, I mean, I can understand what it's written, but I could to generate that off the top of your head would genuinely take. Normally they've got teams of people working on plugins, you know, and things, and you can do.
I spent years trawling Stack Overflow looking for JavaScript solutions and stuff. And it just writes them. And it writes them far better than I ever found on Stack Overflow. You know, sorry, I'm just trying. My OCD's making my thing go a bit
Level. Yeah, yeah. So so that's good. So then, and they said that you don't know where that's going to end, you know, because they're when they create physical AI products, you know, like sort of sex robots and things, is that going to cause another issue, you know? So it's because you're not.
I'm really interested in what Johnny Ives designing. Yeah, I'm just like, oh, that's going to be so good because he said we're so. I mean, you look at that, we are addicted to this. You know, we look at it constantly, and what they want to do is build a product that's just part of you, that you just talk to it, and there's no screen. So whatever OpenAI are building, it won't have a screen, but it apparently does everything a smartphone does.
Yeah, yeah, it's like a little.
I'm so unlucky that if I had a sex robot, an AI sex robot, it would probably leave me for a dustbin.
Yeah, yeah, quite. So then there's um, let me, that's my,
It is a genuine concern. I mean, the whole emotional side of things, and on the other side, the anger side. Sometimes, when it's not responding the way you want it to be, and you've told it over and over again, only give me current 2026 information, and it still comes back, and you feel yourself getting annoyed, like you would do with a person. It's
Updates.
yeah. Yeah, it does, and sometimes it goes into a death loop, and it keeps giving you the same stuff that it did before, and it doesn't. So then I have to.
I've had that coding.
You just have to close the chat and start a new chat. It's the only way,
Yeah.
It seems to be. So right, I'm gonna end this chat and start a new one. And he says, "Okay, see you later."
No, I've had a few doom loops when I've been coding.
Yeah, yeah, and there's nothing you can do about it. Let's just see if my let's just see if we've let's see what it's done. God mode 2. Let's see if it's done it. And it. Okay.
Oh, that's all right.
I mean, I said replace blues with pinks, and it's done that, and it's changed the wording. I didn't change any. Obviously you'd have to go through and change all to be consistent. So it's pretty much done what I asked. It's done it. If you were working by yourself and you weren't doing a Zoom, you would just do it and then do something else, go back to it, and it'd be done. So the time thing doesn't really matter. It's not instant, but it's fine. So yeah, so it's NotebookLM seem to have something new every week. A new little new feature. It's almost like they've got what little thing can we improve this week? And it's and I guess they get feedback. Like I want to update those slides. Those slides are going to get better, and it's going to be obviously we were just looking at creating that infographic with a YouTube video. Obviously you do the same thing with NotebookLM as well, and or you could pull in, or you could do the same with Gemini as well. You can just pull in loads of different videos. I haven't tried it with ChatGPT yet, but their graphic creation is still pretty good. I mean, it's people say that Nano Banana's slightly better, but they're all.
ChatGPT is good at images now.
Yeah. The difference.
Although there is one thing I found is that there's something very weird that if you have a desk, so if you say it's an home office, there's a guy sitting at the desk or whatever, a girl, it will highly polish the desk, and it really affects the lighting in the room. There's something about the reflections of desks that it just doesn't get right. So every time I create an image using ChatGPT now for one of my blog posts, I have to say matte finish, unpolished desk. And if I do that, the lighting's absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
It's very
with ChatGPT video generation was if I wanted anything older, like Victorian or older, it put a brown wash over the top.
Yeah,
like a brown just to make it look older. And I said, every time I say I don't want that, just don't do it on any photograph I ever ask for, on every image. Never ever put a brown overlay. It's a transparent brown overlay, so make it look old. And I said, don't do it. So it may do the next photograph as I've asked, and then after that it will just go back, and then it will go into one of those doom loops where it will never ever take it off until I close the chat and start a new one. So
try telling it not to use sepia.
Yeah, I've tried so many different to try and get it to not do that. So and I was getting quite irritated, like Andy was just saying. I was getting quite angry with it because it wouldn't do what I was asking, And so what is it? And then you start. I was typing in like long paragraphs, ripping it off, tearing it off a strip, saying what is it you don't understand about it, and it doesn't care. So I mean, it's not going to read all that. It's going to condense all that down to one sentence and said, "Oh, sorry about that. I'll try again." And it comes up with the same old shit it did last time. So, I mean,
it does, yeah. Just repeats it.
So
And then you want me to use, and then you want me to use AI. With all the rubbish that you come up with, you want me to use AI.
yeah. One last thing. I was going to go through because there's a lot of music being generated by AI at the moment. There are loads of websites that popped up with free music on. They try and sell you something else alongside it, like a paid for version, but they're all like Pixabay have now got a music, Pixabay Music, pixabay.com/music, and there's thousands of different backing tracks you can use to videos if you need that sort of thing, if you're making creatives and things. And there's another one called freemusicarchive.org, and if you want to, one I was going to have a look at but we ain't got time, is soundful.com, which you can create your own backing tracks from scratch. So you can give it a vibe, and you can give it a vibe and give it a what you're going to be using it for, and it will create a backing track for you that would go along with that. So that's Soundful, SONDFUL.com. Anyone's interested in that. So anyway, I'm going to stop the recording. Thanks for coming along today.